Greetings, my dear friends, and welcome to the full moon episode of Tarot for the Soul. My name is Carrie, and this is a weekly energy update and activation for the collective. This week, we have the full moon happening in the sign of Capricorn coming this Thursday, July 24th, and this is coming just after the summer solstice. So this is the first full moon that we've had after this recent cycle of lunar and solar eclipse that we had last month. So it does bring a little bit of a resolve to the energies that were stirred up during those eclipses, which enables us now to begin to feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more clear in regard to the directions we feel inspired to take based on the transformation that's been in process during this past month with the eclipse season. This full moon in Capricorn is opposing the sun in Cancer, and the way I feel into these energies tells me that this is an opportunity for all of us to really get a little bit more rooted and grounded in achieving harmonized balance between our inner worlds and the outer worlds. We can also look at this as balance between work and home. All in all, this week is really opening up alchemical transformative energies that enable us to really achieve a renewed sense of grounded balance between the inner worlds and the outer world of form. This is extra emphasized by the fact that we have Jupiter going retrograde in the sign of Pisces. The best use of this Jupiter retrograde energy in the sign of Pisces is all around matters having to do with inner reflectiveness. It's our inner development. In astrology, Jupiter is the planet that brings exuberance, exhilaration, and expansion. So in the retrograde, especially in Pisces, that expansion is going to be more inwardly focused in regard to our personal development. And the Pisces energy influences this inner development with a more specified focus with things having to do with intuition, psychic development, and dreaming new realities into being. So we do have astrological aspects that are beginning to support us in getting a little bit more anchored and grounded and taking action in the physical over the next many months. But right now there's still a little bit of that, like acclimating, adjusting, harmonizing, balancing. Again, it feels like the main energy this week is harmony, balance between the inner and the outer. Anytime we have a solstice or equinox, I really enjoy working with my Wisdom of Avalon Oracle deck. I just feel like the mythology connected to this deck really speaks to cycles of spiritual transformation, and so I'm going to be working with this deck today. The tarot spread that I'm doing is specifically for the full moon energies that we're coming into here this week over the next few days. And so I'm going to look at 4 cards, and these 4 cards are going to give us some additional insights as to what's being illuminated in our awareness. We're going to take a look at what's being cleared, released, or expressed, what's emerging or manifesting, and then the overall energy that's being activated for us all collectively that we can, of course, all consciously participate in. So let me go ahead and just take a few moments here to get the cards selected. And I am picking them right now. And here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. So the first card that's coming up, which represents that which is being illuminated in our awareness, is a card called the Novice. When this card comes up, it talks about innocence. It's the beginning of a journey. It's new skills being explored and honed, but not yet really having mastery over those skills. And so it's an energy of curiosity. It feels like this really speaks to the culmination energy or the grounding energy that's beginning to happen now after this cycle of eclipses that we had last month. I encourage all of you to ask yourselves, what new endeavors am I feeling compelled to explore? What new journey am I being compelled to embark on? What skills do I have innately within me that I'm feeling guided to hone, to cultivate, to master? Where or how am I being compelled to maybe move beyond my comfort zone, get fresh energies circulating in my life by exploring new growth potentials and opportunities to cultivate certain skill sets that perhaps have been in the background of my life. So in regard to what's being illuminated this week, for all of us collectively, it's these types of awarenesses and ideas that are bubbling to the surface from deep within the unconscious psychic aspect of ourselves. This is a really good week to do some journaling or at least jotting down notes around what your inspirations are, and let that be a guide for what you're compelled to move forward in the direction of. The next card that we're going to look at is talking about what's being released, what's being cleared or expressed. And it's the Swan card, which is all about transformation. It really does speak of alchemy. If you think of the mythical story about the ugly duckling that turned into a swan, that's what this card really speaks of in the way of transformation. There's an extra aspect of the messages that come through in this card, which is about trusting your intuitions and your psychic abilities. So this is really coming up astrologically this week with Jupiter retrograde in Pisces, inspiring us to feel a little bit more tapped in to our psychic nature, our intuition, matters having to do with self-development. And so as this relates to what's being released, what's being expressed, I would say that with the alchemical energies connected to this card, the processes of spiritual transformation, the Swan invites us to step into our higher octaves of ourself, our higher vibration, our higher realms of internal vibrational beauty, so to speak, claiming, owning, connecting with our higher vibrance as a part of what can lead us forward through the transformational aspects that are happening now. The next card I'm looking at is showing up in the position that says, what's transforming? Where's the opportunity for transformation? Or perhaps what's the energy we have available to us to support and guide us through the energies of transformation that are happening now? And the card that's showing up is called the Bard. In mythology connected to Avalon, a bard is a character that is versed and knowledgeable in poetry, music, theater. And in Avalon mythology, the bards were the people that were the storytellers, the people that kept the stories of the ancestors alive. So as we look at this in relation to the transformational energies that are opening up this week, it feels like this is opportunities for us to do some ancestral healing on one level, all of us individually, and then that obviously supports the collective healing that happens on those ancestral levels. But it feels like it's also about supporting your own transformation through reframing the stories that you tell yourself about your past experiences, reframing them in ways that support you in aligning and activating and empowering the aspects of yourself that you're feeling guided to shift into now. There's a lot of shamanic wisdom teachings and practices that are connected to healing old wounds and traumas through reframing the story that you tell yourself about those old wounds and traumas. And I don't want to get into the whole thing of it within this video, but I do have some other videos on my website that talk a little bit about healing through those modalities, and so you can check those out. And so with transformation, also with this card being connected to creativity, music, and poetry, music, dance, creative expression is also connected to shamanic practices that enable us to shift our energies as well. So as you can see, all in all, astrologically speaking, the energies that are channeling through and the sacred wisdom teachings that are coming through the cards today are all supporting us in having this really empowering week of alchemical transformation, spiritual transformation that ultimately leads to us feeling a tangible experience in being rooted and grounded in balance, again, between the inner worlds and our outer worlds of form. The last card I'm looking at is revealing insights around the energy that's being activated collectively this week. And it's the card that in this deck is called Disruption, which really relates to the Tower card within a traditional tarot system. And this energy is talking about like a clearing away, releasing that needs to happen as a part of this alchemical process of transformation that we're all in, so that we can really rise into our highest and best selves. We can rise into those higher octaves of our soul nature, our higher vibration, our higher expression of ourselves. So this disruption message around the energy that's being activated is coming in to say there are old stagnant cycles that are no longer serving us, that can be broken, that can be cleared, that can be brought into completion, that can be released, exhaled, completed as a part of a bigger process of us shifting into the new. So, obviously the past year and a half has had a lot of shakiness to it and a lot of uncertainty, a lot of ups and downs on many levels, globally, politically, and all of that is influencing us on personal levels. As we've all experienced these many levels of shifts and change that have been going on around us that we do feel largely personally out of control of, is influencing us all individually to reorient, to reroute in ways, again, that are elevating us into a higher expression of life. So we can be sure that this is a really empowering time to listen to yourself in regard to anything that you feel ready to bring into completion, and allow yourself to trust that and find a way to do that for yourself so that you can liberate yourself from that energetic heaviness and shift back into an energy of lightness, airiness, openness, and support from the universe, and moving forward into the path that you envision as being connected to your highest and best reality. The energies now are so powerfully transformative, and remember, even though this full moon is bringing in like a culmination of those eclipse energies that we had last month, that eclipse energy still is unfolding, playing out, expressing and manifesting from now pretty much to the rest of this year is gonna be that journey. But now we're at a point where we're having some clarity of awareness, and we can begin implementing action based on those awarenesses that we have. We do still have that balance between the inner development as we're taking steps externally. So as long as we all keep the energies that are happening astrologically in mind and work with them consciously, we can all be assured that we are going to be on a path that results in a nice harmonious balance, again, between the inner and the outer. Drop me a comment below, let me know how it's going for you, and I'm going to see you later on this week for another video right around the corner. Much love and blessings to you. Namaste.